So this is driving 101.
Lord help us.
So tell us what you know, Ernie.
Not much.
So what's it like to drive down the lane here?
Scary.
Why is it scary?
Because you never know what's going to come up behind you or what's in front of you.
But, you know, it's pretty easy to keep the car in the center of the road, right? You know, just kind of hold it straight and move the wheel back and forth just a little bit so it stays in the center.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. But if the road gets a little icy, forget it.
Yeah. If a dog or cat runs out in front of you, don't swerve.
Yeah.
You know, try to miss it, you know, but
if there's oncoming traffic, you got no choice.
Yeah, if you slam on the brakes, then you get rear-ended and you get killed. Or if you swerve off into the in the lane over there, then you get a front end collision and get killed. So.
Or if you swerve the other way, you're still gonna get killed.
Yeah, you end up running into a telephone pole. So.
Or a house.
You know, just kind of watch for pets alongside of the road. You know, you can kind of see them coming. You know. But you know, if something runs out in front of you, you know,
run it over.
You know, do your best to try to miss it, but don't get killed over a cat or a dog. You know.
Yeah.
Now you're pulling out way too far, because when they come around that corner, they could clip you there in the front corner, and I don't know what the insurance company would say. They might consider that your fault if you're out too far. So you're like right over the white line just a little bit, like half a car length. So
back up.
Is there someone behind you?
Nope.
I don't really recommend backing up, but if there's no one behind you, yeah, go ahead, because you're really out. You're really out there.
How far?
That's not something that's good. Oh, go already, go. So that's not something that's good to do. You know, most people will go around you if you're sticking out.
Mm-hmm.
But you run into the wrong guy, he might get out of the car, beat you up.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously. So don't stay back too far, but you know, give them enough room to get around the corner. Like our neighbor said about driving the semi-truck, he said he'll just sit there until they back up. There's nothing he can do about it. He's got to go around the corner.
Yeah.
You know? So I always give them plenty of room. Especially with all the crazies on the road these days. They're on heroin and meth.
Or drinking.
You just don't need them hitting you.
Or if they're drinking, that's even worse.
So are you actually thinking about what you're doing with your gas foot and your brake foot, or is that more of a natural type thing?
Natural.
Yeah, so you aren't really thinking go faster, go slower, step on the brake here.
Okay. Let me just find where this place is at.
So we're going to turn right up here, so I'd put your blinker on so they know what you're doing.
Let's see if I can find it.
It's always a law to use your blinker.
Especially when it's hard to find a parking
Yeah.
space.
You know, a lot of people don't, but a cop can give you a ticket if he sees you not using your blinker, but most of them won't bother. But if they're having a slow day, they could say, hey, let's go get them. And you just happen to be the one person that they write up for it, so.
It again?
Yeah, go ahead.
Welcome to the Idiot's Guide to Driving.
You ain't an idiot, Ernie. Start it up, foot on the brake, put it in the reverse. Put your foot on the brake too when you start it up, because every once in a while you hear about a car shooting forward.
Yeah.
And you know, as soon as you start it up, it's a rare thing, but
Ain't that rare.
you know, that's just something I always get in the habit of doing. Or at least or at least be prepared for it.
And I don't think this is gonna work. Anything on that side? Maybe it will.
So tell us what you're thinking about here now, right?
Who knows?
As you drive down the road, you know, you're driving stuff. Well, you're watching that guy, making sure they don't pull in front of you.
Yeah.
Making sure there ain't no one pulling out over here.
You alright?
Right? Watching the person behind you. See if you could have a drunk come up from behind you and kill you.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
can
if
have
they're
a drunk
flying
come
down
up
the
on
road.
the side too.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have a drunk coming out from anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is getting a little too dangerous.
See, and then this is where all the people come out of McDonald's. They don't want you to block the road here.
Yeah.
School bus.
Yeah, well, the only problem with the school
There's a
bus.
school back in there.
Yeah.
Okay, then Ernie's gonna jump on the freeway here.
If I don't kill myself first. Yeah, it's definitely rush hour.
And it's the same thing here. I see a lot of wrecks here, you know,
Yeah.
and I can never quite figure out why, but I think that they pull out from the freeway and the person goes flying down the road
Yeah,
there.
there's a lot of wrecks over by the mall all the time, and here.
See, now that seemed kind of wide, but that was actually the correct way to do it. If you ever touch one of the lines, the white line or yellow line, a cop can give you a ticket.
Well, people been
Yeah.
touching those white lines for years.
Yeah, but I don't think you're allowed. I know
Do it all the time?
I know the center line, but I think even the outside white line and all the lines, the dotted lines don't matter. But that's something we have to check out in the manual. I'm pretty sure though, if you touch a white line, that they can stop you for it.
Yeah, they've been doing it for years, Jimmy. And the cops don't stop them from that.
Okay, so we're on the freeway now. You know, freeways are tough these days as far as speed because you never know if it's 55, 65, 70. It's like, what is it, you know?
Well, right now it's 65, but the moment I hit that turn off here, it goes down to about 30.
So you really have to pay attention to how fast the speed is. And I think, you know, you see a speed sign, the 55 or 65, that's the maximum. You know, that's not the minimum. Okay? So you don't have to go 55. I think you can go as low as 40 before they'll stop you. If you're going down the freeway 40 miles an hour, I think you could get pulled over for that too, because you're causing a hazard because you're going too slow on the freeway. So.
Well, at least, it won't be like Pee Wee. When he used to drive, on the freeway, he'd be going 3 miles an hour.
He's just cruising.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with cruising.
Yeah, 3 miles an hour?
Watch out, watch out, watch out. You're talking, you ain't paying attention. Gotta pay attention first.
Oh, I saw him. Then again, a lot of people usually park their cars.
You saw it.
A lot of people park their cars out here too.
Yeah, these church people, they always park on the road over here.
No, I mean, this guy's
Oh,
been there, parked there for I don't know how long.
Something you have to pay attention to is sometimes people will stop short. You know, you're going down the road following them, and they'll put on the brakes a little early. They're trying to get you to hit them from behind, you know, because they need the insurance money to pay their bills, you know. It's happened to me at least twice in the last 5 years or so. It's like you can never know for sure, but it's like, oh man, it's like that guy was trying to get me to hit him. You know,
Yeah.
you know, they don't bother to fix the vehicle and just take the $2,000 check. You know?
And go.
The time I remember, it was a small pickup truck, really fairly new. It was kind of sharp looking. I figured the guy was probably just losing the truck. He needed to make a payment.
And
Well, I was paying attention to him, so I didn't hit him. You know, that was going across the bridge. When we got to the end of the bridge there, there's that stoplight.
Well, there goes Columbus. What used to be Columbus Junior High.
Now, when you're driving, you can't be doing no sightseeing.
Sightseeing.
You know,
I just remember Columbus
that's
Junior High.
that's something that took Ernie a hard time getting used to, because he was always a passenger, and then when he started driving, he was trying to sightsee while he was driving, and you really can't look around much. You know, you're too busy watching the road, watching the cars, making sure no one's pulling out in front of you. You know, you don't have time to like stare off into the field there for 5 seconds, you know. You know, you
ain't got no blinkers on.
yeah, you may be driving correctly, but the other guy could be eating a sandwich, playing with the radio, rolling a joint, you know, talking on the phone, all at the same time. You know, he ain't even paying attention to you. And you make
You forgot drinking.
you make one little move and boom, and they end up blaming it on you. So
You forgot drinking and driving.
yeah, drinking. They're all drunk these days on crack.
Or doing something stupid.
Yeah.
Especially some of these young kids when they get behind the wheel for the first time.
We're coming up to it's somewhat of a commercial area for tourists, and a lot of people that visit this area don't really know the roads.
Yeah.
You know, they come down to visit the coffee shop or the little knick-knack shops, so you have to be careful around these areas, because
Especially around where this turn, right where this turn is up here.
yeah, this turn is terrible, especially
It is treacherous.
especially when it's snowy.
Oh yeah.
Plus the drunks are coming around the road here. They might take it a little wide. The trick to going over bridges, this is like a lift bridge, they call it.
This is a lift bridge.
The trick here is to drive over toward the center, so the guy over there thinks you're going to hit him, then he'll swerve over.
And if that don't work...
Now right here you can see that yellow line there. It's just crazy. They don't know where they want to put it. So this is a real hard area to drive through. I always mosey through here like 5 miles an hour, because you never know what's going to pull out in front of you.
Great.
Because there's all
Like
types
this?
of... Yeah. Well, they're working on the road here too. They usually don't do that. So
This is going to be interesting.
yeah. So I guess it's legal that you can go off on to the other side here.
Yeah, providing I don't hit anything.
So you have to watch the side roads. See that sign, that 25-mile sign, that's the maximum. That's not the minimum. It's not 25 and above. It's 25 maximum.
Yeah, but you forget people been doing 40 on this road.
Yeah.
especially in the summer.
Well, that's because it's a state highway, you know.
Well, that's what this is.
So they think they're allowed to go faster.
Uh-huh.
This is a bad road too because they could be come flying up the other way.
Mhm.
See, these straight, smooth roads are easy to drive. You can get a 12
Unless you're drunk.
you can get a 12-year-old to ride down these roads.
Unless you're drunk.
But the hard part is, and yeah, some drunk pulls out in front of you. Well, now what do? You know, you try to avoid them. You don't just run into them. You know?
But then you also got to worry about
places like this, they're doing construction. Don't go close to the curb because that's where all the nails and screws, and you never know what you're gonna pick up. You know, one time when I was a kid, I was always on the freeway going to college, and I actually had a hanger, a muffler hanger, inside my tire. It's like a long bolt. I actually saw the guy pull it out of the tire.
ouch.
You know, going down the freeway. I mean, it's amazing the tire didn't blow up. Just a slow leak. Imagine a 6-inch bolt inside your tire. It's like, what the?
You're saying, what the?
I mentioned that to one of the auto mechanics at the store a few years ago, and they said, you wouldn't believe what we pull out of tires here. So that's why it's not good to ride too close to the edge, because that's where all the junk is. All the junk from the road flies over to the side.